I'm Tanya. I work in the Triple J music team and I've just put in my vote for the hottest 100 of Australian songs. It got me so nostalgic and emotional. I guess being in this job, making playlists full time, listening to music constantly, it was so special to recognize music in Australia and how it has like imprinted in my brain over the years. So I thought I'd talk you through the tracks that I voted for. I'm going to tell you first what they feel like for me, where I remember them from, and then I'll reveal it at the end what tracks I voted for. So the first one, iconic pub rock band who really represent the years that I've spent partying in Melbourne. I moved here when I was like 22 from Perth and just partying and having fun and being a silly girl. So that first one is Amyl and the Sniffers' Got You. The second one is a nostalgic track for me from an iconic band that have traumatized everyone with one of their other tracks that you probably would have interacted with on Rage. It is a song that feels like walking around at nighttime in California and just being reflective on your life. And there's some beautiful spoken word stuff. There's some syrupy synth work. It is, of course, the Avalanches and Running Red Lights. Next is an icon who I've actually worked with at the ABC. She is a legend. She performed at the Olympics and she has done a cover of this iconic song by another First Nations band. And just has so much nostalgia in my heart. It feels like I'm coming home on a Qantas flight and just like having that music come through the speakers when you've been away from Australia for a long time. It's guts to be Christine Anu. Oh, I've showed you the next one. The next one is just some like naughty dance music that feels like club energy in Australia 20 years before I was old enough to go to these particular clubs. It feels like cosmopolitan. It feels new age. It feels slinky. And it also has like sassy lyrics that I've always loved singing since I was a kid. And I never knew they were Australian until like a year ago. It is Madison Avenue, Don't Call Me Baby. Also iconic sample on that of like an Italian artist. So if you want to do some nerdy research into that. The next one, my goodness. I feel as if I always mourn when I hear this song, the fact that I wasn't able to see it live and be around at that time to have that Australian nostalgia. It's an iconic band who had really strong links to things like Splendour, and they are just one of those bands that I will forever swoon over. And goodness me, to have someone write a song like this about you or about like the feelings that they had at a certain time, I simply couldn't handle it. So that next one is Powderfinger, My Happiness. This next song, it took me a really long time to work out which song I wanted to vote for with this group because they really symbolize my whole time being in love with Triple J, being in love with Unearthed. I remember looking up one of their other songs called Desert Nights and listening to it then and playing it on community radio in Perth at RTR. They are killing it. I think seeing them at the beginning, seeing them at Amps in Perth in the early stage of their career with one of those original singles to then go on to playing shows that existed in the same capacity, 50,000 people as a festival, it just blew my mind. It's one of those real proud international exports for me. And that is Rufus Du Sol, In a Bloom. The other one that I was thinking of was You Were Right. I just think that is a perfect song too. The next artist symbolizes being an Australian kid growing up with African roots. She has been such a pioneer for great, cool jazz, like hip hop crossover music that exists, particularly in Melbourne. And there was just something so special about hearing Final Form in 2020. A lot of things had like been going wrong in the world, and I saw her do this at, she did this as a live performance in a really special space. and yeah, there's something about her coming into her own creatively that I am always indebted to. And I think the first time I moved to Melbourne, I really fell in love with her as an artist. And that is all. Sanford the Great and Final Form. Sorry about my double chin. Next one, someone who is the more recent one on my list. It is a South Sudanese artist who has killed it overseas, like absolutely nailed it. And I first like sort of came across him because he nailed this Boiler Room set in Ireland and had people in the palm of his hand. And I was like, I have to go see him. And luckily I had a mate, Jade Zoe, who I met through Triple J as well, who used to do House Party. And she was like, oh, my friend can get you a ticket to go see him if you want to see him at the Forum. And I felt so much like pride in seeing this dude like come home to such a massive crowd, losing it. I've got a video of it. And the way that he just like rode the bass like during that set, it really like hit me in the chest of how beautiful his music was. And I think dance music overseas really deserves its flowers. So that person is Skin on Skin, Burnham Bridges. And my second last track is from, once again, a band that gave me so much representation as a teenager going to festivals for the first time. It was either Fuzzy or the lead singer of this band that people would be like, oh my God, is that you? And she just wrote amazing pop songs that I heard everywhere with her band. It's also a song that is so sassy. It's like, look at me, look at us. There's something hot and powerful about that song. And that song is Sneaky Sound System Pictures. And my final song, it's really funny. I've put these in alphabetical order, but I think like one of the most significant ones to finish off my votes for the hottest 100 of Australian songs is Tame Impala, Borderline. Sorry, I've revealed it. No tease this time. Gosh, this song, it feels like the new age Kevin Parker that he's always wanted to be. Seeing them perform this live at a massive arena show blew my socks off. But I also remember sort of dropping out of uni as a 21-year-old, listening to a lot of Tame Impala in general. They represented, like, despite being in the most isolated city in the world, like coming from there, you could be massive. And I remember watching every video I could possibly find of Tame Impala and Pond and obsessing over the stories that they put into their music. Kevin was so obsessed with pop music and was like, I want to write stuff like that. And I think Borderline represents that crux, that moment, the apex of him achieving that. And I'm forever indebted to bailing out of my teaching degree at 21 after listening to Tame Impala a stack, and choosing to like travel to festivals overseas and inevitably getting into radio after that and during that, and music journalism broadly, because I wouldn't be able to have the job here at Triple J and the music team and have my own radio show. So yeah, I feel like I'm very indebted to all of these musical moments that have feel like they're in my veins, you know. We are so damn lucky, my goodness. But yeah, did you know you have 30 minutes to get your votes in? / it might have closed by the time you actually see this. But I'd love to hear what music you've been reflecting on and what's made you feel really emotional as you've voted, because I feel like this one has got me in the feels.